Hello and welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. Today is Thursday, January 18th. I'm Cara Falco.
And I'm Kristina Behr. So glad you could join us this morning. Before we get to our top stories and all of our guests, we're going to check out the weather first.
Absolutely. And it is getting ugly out there as rain showers continue. We all were late this morning because of the rain. Rain showers continue rolling through the state. That rain will continue throughout the day today with a high of 44 degrees. Taking a look at temperatures across the state, you'll notice the somewhat milder temperatures close to the coast. Expect a high of 46 in Seabright, 48 in Belmar, 50 in Atlantic City and Cape May. To the north, you can expect colder temperatures with 39 degrees in Sussex and 42 in Flemington. Don't forget to bring the umbrella with you this morning, but will you still need it going into the weekend? Stick around for the rest of the forecast coming up in just a bit.
Yeah, and of course, the weather playing a role in the traffic. Let's get a check of the roads and the rails with Don Smith. A little bit dicey this morning. Wasn't the greatest ride in.
Yeah, no, I know it wasn't for you either, Behr, along Route 346, the big accident there out by Valley Road. But yeah, we'll go out to the cameras here this morning. You know, they say traffic and weather always go together. That's what they do. I'm not really going to show you much traffic here in this camera, but you will see a shot of the weather. As you can see, the rainy conditions in Woodbridge. This is the Turnpike and Interchange 11 this morning. So look for that. Again, here right at the Garden State Parkway is going to be a bit slow. And as usual, as timing would have it, of course, the camera has to freeze just as we go to air. Why wouldn't it? Right. But anyway, you get the idea that it's a little soggy out there, especially in the central part of the state, Middlesex County, north of the Driscoll Bridge. Now, we have another crash here along Route 17 as you get north here, out towards Rochelle Park out of Lodi. It looks like it's just past Essex Street here this morning, but we are well back here, kind of parallels Route 80. So watch for that, especially exiting here at exit 64 on the westbound side of Route 80. Now, 80, also another accident being reported here west out by Route 20 to make a note of that. So a little sluggish there. And then 208 still hasn't been able to shake these delays out through Fairlawn and Fairlawn Avenue and Maple Avenue, I should say. But Parkway is good. Northern Bergen County, rest of 17, Ramsey, 287, Oakland, Wyckoff on 208. That is clear. So is 23, getting all the way to 23 through Butler and beautiful Oak Ridge on into Franklin and Hardiston. And again, making your way all the way up into Sussex County. Things are in good shape. Again, roadways are going to continually get soggier and soggier as we go through the morning. South along Route 15, a little heavy out of Lafayette and Route 94. Let's go out towards 80 here. We're fine. Even out towards western sections of Warren County is good. Just slow it down. You know, it doesn't take a whole lot of moisture to kind of lose that rubber meets the road kind of cliche. But it's true. It doesn't take much to lose that contact. You can slide just a little bit. Both ways of 80 at 287 is busy. Same thing here along 24, both ways getting up to 287. And the Parkway is still fairly congested in either direction through Bloomfield. Now, let's check in with New Jersey Transit, shall we? Let me just hit the refresh here very briefly, and we'll see if this will populate. Yeah, we still have delays here on the corridor. A couple of canceled trains there, and also 20 minutes on the coastline getting into Penn Station, some earlier equipment issues, and then 2 more canceled trains here on the Montclair line here this morning. So just take it easy, slow things down. In our next report, we'll check out the rest of Central Jersey and our Hudson River crossings. Cara, Kristina, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Don, thanks so much. Well, to our top stories now. Birth control medication can now be purchased without a prescription here in New Jersey after a new bill was signed into law last week. The new law is intended to expand access to birth control for any women who need it.
As I said in my State of the State address a couple of days ago, in New Jersey, we trust every woman to make these decisions for herself, period, full stop.
At the bill signing, the governor said the measure will help make New Jersey a, quote, safe haven against what he called a rollback in reproductive freedoms after the overturning of Roe v. Wade by the Supreme Court last year. And now this also means, by the way, anyone who is not from New Jersey can get birth control.
Can come here, yeah.
That's the big
their
headline.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're just basically expanding everything, doubling down on, reproductive rights here in New Jersey.
Yeah, which is good, I think. And people need to educate themselves on what it is and what it does and how it's going to impact your body. But certainly I think,
right.
To be able to access it without a prescription to just kind of, that's fair.
And hopefully it won't be as expensive.
Yeah, that would be nice, right?
The other thing. Here's another great story. The Anthony Rizzo Foundation, a nonprofit that works to help kids with cancer and their families. Well, the foundation was inspired by Rizzo's personal battle with cancer before he came to the Yankees.
Just giving back is one of Anthony's favorite things, and being able to spend time with children battling cancer is just a great reminder to him of how far he's come. And he had some great motivators when he was going through cancer, and he really loves to be able to pass on that to children who are battling now.
The foundation has several events in the area, including a broadcast auction, a laugh-off, and a cook-off.
Sounds like a good time right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the Fire and Ice Festival in Mount Holly returns this year, featuring activities like ice sculptures and a chili cook-off. I'm already sold.
Amazing. Here with more on the festival is Audrey Winzinger, the festival's co-chair. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Hi, good to be with you.
So Audrey, what can guests look forward to with this year's festival?
Well, first of all, we're happy to be back. We've been away for a few years. We've had between the pandemic stopping us, and then we had a bad storm, and then we had a state of emergency last year. So anyway, we spent this is our 30th year. So and we spent many years not having any stoppage, and then we had 3 years where we've had a problem. So anyway, so we're very much looking forward to getting back out on the street. But we have all kinds of things that go on. We have a lot of children-centric things, but the adults have good stuff too. We have distilleries and breweries in town, so that's very good for the adults. But the kids have fire engine rides, and Home Depot's coming with their Build a Kid Craft, and we have Cedar Run Wildlife is bringing their Birds of Prey display, so that's fun. And we have a Vets in Training display coming with their animals. So we have a lot of animal things happening. Not to mention, we have the chili cook-off. So we have a lot of professional chili chefs that are bringing their chili for everybody to come, which both gets judged. But we have a People's Choice Award, so everybody gets to go in and have a taste. And we have 10 professional ice carvers that are coming, and they'll be located all throughout town. So lots of vendors, lots of food trucks, not to mention our restaurants in town and our shops that are in town, and lots of other historic sites to see. They'll be all open. We're a very historic town, so we have lots of things to see. You can take in a whole day's worth to come and visit with us.
I love this. And the fire obviously being chili. The ice being the ice sculpture. That's cool. Do people get to basically vote on the ice sculptures, and what goes into setting all of this up?
So the ice sculptures, we did at one point have it be a contest for the ice sculptures, but that seemed to be not as interactive as we liked it to be. So we decided to slow it down a little bit, and we changed it up, and we decided that we would have it be that we would have not be a contest. So what we do is we supply the carvers with 2 300-pound blocks of ice, and that slows them. That gives them all day and makes it so that they are very calm and able to stop and talk with the crowd and answer a lot of questions. People have lots and lots of questions about how they carve with all their tools, with their chainsaws, and so it makes it so that the crowd is able to interact with the carvers a lot. So we deliver their ice to them first thing in the morning, and then they come with all their own tools, and they carve all day. And at the end, they have a work of art, but they've spent all day talking to everybody and having a whole educational day with them. And so anybody that comes gets to learn all about ice carving and taste a lot of chili and vote on their People's Choice for their chili.
My fave was Yoda.
Was Baby Yoda? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, those are the sponsor blocks. So all of our businesses in town, or a lot of our businesses in town, purchase as a fundraiser the day before we put out sponsor blocks for everybody that bought a block to do as a fundraiser for the event. And Yoda was one that one of our businesses in town purchased. And a lot of people get their logo, but some people get their favorite guy. And Yoda was their favorite guy.
I love it. Hey, Audrey, tell me, there's a breakfast with a princess part of this event as well?
Oh, yes, and that sold out so fast. Oh my gracious. Yes, the princesses are coming. One of our local restaurants is having breakfast. Breakfast with the princesses, and so with a little bit of a Frozen theme, and yes, that was a big hit. Those ladies will be after the breakfast. They will be walking around the event and doing photo ops with everyone. But they'll be having a private audience with the breakfast attendees. So yeah, that's a big hit.
There's a big theme here too. The ice,
Yes.
Frozen. Yes, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, this is coming back after a couple of years of a few detours, of course,
Oh,
COVID, the blizzard.
yeah.
What's the feeling going into this, especially from the community? What are you getting that sense?
Oh, it's a very, very well received event, although not just amongst our local community. We get visitors from really the tri-state area. We have often I get calls from bus tours and people that come from upstate New York and people that come from Pennsylvania. I do notice that what do they say? That copying us is the greatest flattery. I do see a lot of other ice carving events popping up all around the countryside. So I think that those are available, but people seem to really like ours. It's been going on for a very long time, and it has a lot of other things that occur during the day with it. So we get really good support. We have very good crowds, and we definitely get people from far away. But our certainly our local community is very, very supportive of the event.
Well, Audrey, whether near or far, where can people go to find more?
fireandicefestival.com is the best
Amazing.
way, and everything will be on there. And come visit us between 10 and 4 on the 28th.
Sounds like it's gonna be a great time. Audrey, thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Have fun. Yeah.
That
Sounds
does
like
sound
really
like
good fun.
That sounds like a lot of
Yeah.
fun. My mind automatically went to Game of Thrones when they said Fire and Ice, and then she was like Frozen. I was like, oh, it's for the kids. Just kidding.
Mine went to the chili. I was like, ooh.
No, well, that was the next spot where my
I was
mind
like,
went.
okay,
Then, yeah, well, I enjoy a good bowl of chili. Absolutely. All right, guys, coming up, we're going to tell you about the closures that are coming to the Holland Tunnel and how they could impact your commute.
It's going to be a hot mess, in other
Mhm.
words. Plus, we'll meet the host of a podcast that's all about the Great Garden State.
Plus, you can always find us over on social media. Search for @NJ Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and click follow.
Right now, families all across New Jersey are struggling with hunger, and their financial futures remain uncertain. You can be the hope for our hungry neighbors in need in a time when that need is still so great. The Community Food Bank of New Jersey, the state's largest anti-hunger, anti-poverty organization, is filling the emptiness caused by hunger with food, help, and hope. Go to cfbnj.org now to join us.
The New Jersey Hall of Fame is coming to you, celebrating our best and brightest, greeting guests along our Garden State Parkway through its 9 service areas, engaging travelers from our terminals to our transit centers, inspiring new generations as we move from town to town, and at New Jersey's hottest red carpet ceremony, inspiring New Jerseyans at our new home at American Dream. It's the New Jersey Hall of Fame, and it's where you want to be because everyone needs a hero.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. We hope you know where your umbrella is because you
Yeah.
are going to need it today. It'll be a good day to maybe work from home if you've got the option. Curl up on the couch. Yes, please. Don't sit inside on Saturday, though. That is likely to be the best day of the week. And as we head into the weekend, another storm system will be moving into the area for late Sunday, headed into Monday morning. Most of Sunday does look to be dry at this point, with high temperatures into the low and mid 40s. Depending on the exact timing of that storm track, northwestern parts of the state could start out with some wintry weather on Sunday night. So definitely something to look out for and consider, especially if you're in that northwestern part of the state.
Yeah. And going into Monday morning.
And
that
going
commute.
into Monday morning, that Monday morning commute, just
Yeah.
in case Monday wasn't hard enough.
I know, right?
Yes,
It's the Monday scaries is going to be even more scary,
Yeah.
potentially. So we'll keep you posted on that. For now, let's get a check of your roadways once again with Don Smith and seeing how scary the roads are this morning. Don.
Yeah, thank you, Kristina. Good morning, Cara. Let's get you back over to my good friends over at the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, the Turnpike cameras. So we're looking live here, Interchange 13 in Linden. There's a crash in the center left lane there, really almost closing up the entrance ramp to the northbound side of the turnpike for both the car and the truck lanes as well. So it's kind of just getting by on the right shoulder, but you can see the water now starting to kind of populate on the roads. Definitely a soggy or mid-morning hours, if you want to call this, today. So just be careful. Could be a little bit slippery. So Turnpike Authority, State Police are on scene now to help the driver of this vehicle. So I don't know whether there's another vehicle in front. I don't think so. But again, just be careful there in Linden getting onto the turnpike at Interchange 13. May just start to see a little bit of backup through the tolls. As I said, we'll take a look at Central Jersey now. 287 South, friends, it still hasn't recovered. Earlier this morning, there was a big accident here just before Route 27. Still trying to pick up the pieces here, so to say, but the accident has now been cleared. Let me just triple check that. Yes, it has been cleared. But again, we're just trying to piece things back together again this morning. Parkway across the Driscoll Bridge is fine. 287 North and exit 12 looks a little bit slow into 13. 22, again, we're moving well on 78, 202 as we make our way through Princeton, 206 Route 1. Turnpike 18, Route 9, Monmouth County. Again, we're all in the clear except for these very wet road conditions. And 295, though, is a little bit slow getting into Sloan Avenue because as you see it here on the list, there's a crash on the shoulder. And now this is a new one here, 295 going south in Greenwich in southwestern Jersey. Center lane is out by exit 18. That, again, just happening. So we'll take a look at that, see if I can find a camera for our next report. Let's take a look at the Hudson River crossings. Promised you that as well. About 40 at the George to the upper, about 25 to 30 for the lower, about 25 to 30 here at the Lincoln, and about 15 minutes at the Holland Tunnel. New Jersey Transit, still a couple canceled trains on the Northeast Corridor. Now, speaking of the Holland Tunnel, I think I'm going to stick around with you ladies to kind of talk to you about this next story about the Holland Tunnel.
Yeah, absolutely, Don. We definitely want you here because starting next month, the Jersey-bound side of the Holland Tunnel will be closed 6 nights a week as repairs are made. All of this from damage from Hurricane Sandy, which was over a decade ago now?
Yeah.
So the repair work will take place from 11 p.m. until 5 a.m. every night, except for Friday into Saturday, where work will continue until 9 a.m. The construction will include flood protections like flexible and removable wall barriers to help keep water out.
And they're going to be in place till 2025. By the way.
I was going to say, well, and they just finished the New York bound side, right, Don? Because I know it's been like commuting into the city for early mornings.
Yeah.
You had to make sure you were going, if you were taking the Holland, you had to be after 5 a.m.
Yeah, that's right, Cara. So they just finished up that road work there, and it's just the timing of it. I think it's February 4th, the weekend of the 4th into the 5th, or the 5th into the 6th, one of those 2 days. The New York side is going to, finish up the road work, and now they're going to spin to the other side. So the only time it's going to be open is really like late Saturday night into Sunday, because that's the weekend, and they know once we get into warmer weather, there's going to be a lot of folks trying to get back from the city back to New Jersey, so they want to leave that open. But again, 6 nights a week, you got to plan to use the Lincoln Tunnel, and it really starts to stack up there on Canal Street as well as Broome Street, as folks either forget or they just don't know that it's closing. So anytime that section of Lower Manhattan, and it's brutal no matter what time of the day it is down in that section, it's just very, very difficult to travel and that part of Lower Manhattan. So
Yeah, that part of. I mean, I fill in. One of my other jobs is down in that area, and
Sure, yeah.
I mean the
always
gridlock in that area is a nightmare.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
just switched one of the main roadways into the Holland Tunnel. They now have a divider clear down the road that, okay, this is through traffic and this
Sure.
is traffic for the Holland Tunnel, but people don't realize that,
Yeah.
10 blocks down
sure.
and they're in the wrong lanes and it's a nightmare.
It's a mess.
Yeah, and also on West Street, West Side Highway, whatever you want to
Yes.
call it there, that also kind of gets all tuned up as well as you try to get out into Canal Street. So hopefully they get the word out as much as they can, because I mean, what are we looking at, like 2.5 weeks or whatever before this kind of starts up? So,
And then for 2 years, right?
and for the next
till
for the
2025.
next 2 years,
I mean, it has to get done because it's, suffered a lot of issues because of Sandy, but I
Yeah.
mean, this is 10 years.
yeah, they made they made initial repairs just to get the tunnel open. But this is just really, it's probably more than likely a lot of the stuff behind the tiling.
Yeah.
Lincoln and Holland have those tiles that have been there for gosh knows how long, 100 years, whatever it is. Yeah, and there's probably, a lot of water damage behind that. So I'm assuming that they're probably going to be maybe taking some of that out as well.
Yeah.
But
they definitely replaced them all on the New York bound side.
Right.
It's all new, fresh tiles.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, it's just, I mean, it's just a lot of work that has to get done, and hopefully cross our fingers we don't get any kind of another storm of that magnitude between now and when it finishes,
Right.
Yeah, or the rest of my life. That would be great. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm hoping that maybe they do something of some capacity, even if they had like a gate or something that would come up almost, to be honest with you, if they had something that would just drop down from the tunnel and seal it.
Yeah.
If they knew that something was coming.
If they knew something was coming,
right.
at
Clear
either
the
end,
tunnel
seal it
and
off.
use some sort of waterproof kind of door or whatever, but who knows how many hundreds of millions of dollars that would cost.
Yeah, exactly.
First, they got to fix the infrastructure. And
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
we have other issues.
Yeah.
Don,
We do.
thanks so much for your
Sure,
input.
we'll
We always
stay a
appreciate
little
it. All right. Well, we're still talking about travel and cars, and with car thefts on the rise in New Jersey, one township is trying to push for more action with a formal legal complaint.
Yeah, Middletown Mayor Tony Perry announced a lawsuit against the state and its council on local mandates. The suit is asking for money to repay the costs of trying to protect residents against car thefts. The mayor also said the extra police patrols needed to control the car thefts is taking away from the ability to pay for their other town services. So they're suing the state over this. They also mentioned, bail reform as being an issue in this as well. So it's multi-sided here, but it's an interesting way to approach it, I think.
Yeah.
To sue the state over this. I mean, it's dicey.
It's dicey at best. It really is. I mean, I just don't know beyond. I don't know that you're ever going to put something in place that's going to really stop these criminals.
Yeah.
And I do think it really does lie more with, unfortunately, the people. And again, just repeating that message.
Yeah.
Don't leave your car running. Don't leave your keys in your car. Roll your windows up. Lock your car. Don't leave valuables in your car.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people actually who always drove convertibles, and they would park the car with the top down, but I mean, the car was empty. So other than the car itself, which is obviously the issue here, I mean, there wasn't much else in there, but still, just lock the car
It's
up.
common sense.
Yeah.
Just don't let it happen in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't give them a reason.
Yeah.
That's really, really what it comes down to. But yeah, so we'll see what comes of that. And, if anything will,
Yeah, exactly.
Our next guest here, amazing. Greetings from the Garden State. It's a podcast that explores the people that make New Jersey great.
I love it. Here with us to tell us more is podcast founder and CEO, Mike Ham. Hey, Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good to see you. Always great to talk to other people that love Jersey as much as I do. So
and I'm a fan of the podcast. It's great. You've featured a couple of my friends as well.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Really fun too. And it's like, well, we'll get into that in a minute, but what made you decide to start this podcast?
So it's a long story, but I'll condense it down as best I can. So I started podcasting during 2020 for my full-time job, because this is not my full-time job. And that show was more like real estate focused, business focused. And eventually I kind of got like burned out with that a little bit and wanted to do something that was more for me, and was trying to figure out like a niche topic that I can kind of get myself into. And I'm born and raised in Jersey, have lived here almost my entire life. And was, sitting at home one night and just brainstorming, and I put this like idea together, started fleshing it out. And that was We launched it back in October 2021, and here we are going well over a year now. And I think this week was our episode 64. I think we're at with a couple bonus episodes dropped in there here and there. But yeah, it's been great.
That is amazing. So, Mike, what's the process of putting a podcast together? Because I know a lot of folks are interested in and feel like they have something they want to say or a topic they want to discuss. So, what goes into putting a show together?
I mean, there's varying levels, right? So like you can be as basic as you want, like start with your phone and a free recording app and just get it on Spotify or whatever. But like really what it comes down to is you have to find something that you're really passionate about, because this is a fun fact for anybody that's looking to start a podcast. Most shows never make it past episode 7, most new shows, because people they turn on the mics. They're like, this is going to be great. We're going to crush it. And then they wind up not, they just realize how much work actually goes into the back end of it. Because, I mean, you're scrolling some pictures on the screen right now. I mean, these are all marketing things that I have to do on the back end to try to make sure that I'm not just shouting into a vacuum. So find something that you're passionate about, have some sort of plan, and just make sure that you're trying to consistently figure out who your audience is and who you want to talk to. And then just stay consistent with that. That's really like the base. There's obviously way more to it, but that's where I would start.
The question I was going to ask at the beginning, and I decided to wait because I wanted to find out the backbone of your story, but why Jersey? I mean, it's funny because we come across people all the time saying, why do you like Jersey so much? And usually they're out of towners, so they don't really know.
Yeah, but they're jealous is really what it is.
Really? Yeah. But why do a show around New Jersey?
So that's a good question. I was trying to find something I was passionate about. I've lived here my whole life, and I love a lot of what Jersey has to offer. I mean, obviously every place anybody lives or whatever, there's gonna be things that aren't that great. But at the same time, like Jersey, I grew up here. So Jersey has made me the person that I am today. And it's like one of my favorite things about Jersey is that it's the most densely populated state in the country, but also has one of the most diverse populations in the country. So the stories that we're sharing on the show are so different, and they're people that may live 5 minutes from me, or down the street, or in the same town, or in a different county, or whatever it is. So there's all that same kind of reasons why we love New Jersey, but then also the people here are really what makes it great. And having these people on to share their stories and what they're doing and what their business is about, or what their activities are that they're interested in, or their nonprofit is about. Those are the things that I love. I love talking to people, meeting new people, seeing what they're all about. And that's really what it is. And then you start adding in all the extra things, like all the cool stuff that the state has to offer, and its proximity to different areas. Like New York and Philly, obviously that's great too. There's just so much great stuff here, and more people need to know about it.
Yeah, you're breaking stereotypes about New Jersey too, because again, a lot of out-of-towners, when they think New Jersey, they're like, oh, high taxes and all the negative stuff. But they don't think of all the positive.
Right. Yeah. It's like one of those things. It's like if you love someone or you love something, you love it for all of its beauty and all of its flaws.
Yes.
You love its flaws.
That's
so
good.
Obviously nobody loves high taxes or anything like that. But it's, even I posted a video the other day, and someone made a joke about how the Pulaski Skyway is not that great. And why did I put it in such a cool video? And I was like, but it just seems cool, it seemed like a cool part of the video. And it just it adds to the whole mystique and kind of aura of what Jersey's all about, because that's one part of it. And I feel like people that hate on Jersey only see that part, but they don't see the rest of it. You know what I mean? And that's really where all the great stuff is.
My favorite, and this is on a personal note, my favorite thing of college was my college roommate was from California, and she knew I was from New Jersey. We went to school in Boston. And when she found out I was from New Jersey, she goes, ugh, New Jersey, the turnpike. And I was like, girl, you've never been to Jersey.
That's
you don't even know what you're talking about. And then I proved her wrong when she came to visit my family and my home. And that was the best feeling in the world, is proving people wrong.
Wrong. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, Mike, I was just going to ask you, we talk a lot about, or you were saying, just the people and their stories. Is the podcast always about a guest and their story, or do you go to places as well and just kind of focus on a specific location?
So it's primarily about people. So the show kicked off and was the primary focus of the show in my mind was going to be local businesses and nonprofits here in New Jersey. So I think our first 3 episodes were Calandra's, the Mayo Performing Arts Center in Morristown, and the Right Cut, which is a barbershop on the campus of Rutgers. But those 3 people that I had on, like Tim Wright, for example, from the Right Cut, was a friend of mine. He played football at Rutgers, won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. So he's like has a great story, and the more I started digging and kind of expanding what the show was about, I realized that there was more great people, than just like, hey, we're going to go check out like Morristown today, or we're going to go check out Newark today. I want to learn about like the people, because ultimately that's kind of like what makes up Jersey. So that the show has somewhat evolved in the year plus that we've kind of been doing it. But I do think that primarily the show is about people from New Jersey.
That's awesome. Where can people find more information and find out about the podcast?
Sure. So greetingsfromthegardenstate.com is our website. That is the hub. You can get pretty much anywhere you need to go, or anywhere you want to learn more stuff about the show from there. We're on Instagram at Greetings from the Garden State, and then you can listen to the show on any podcasting platform, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. We're there, Greetings from the Garden State, and you can find us.
Awesome.
Great stuff. Mike Ham, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We so appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Absolutely. No, I appreciate you guys having me.
Yay. Awesome.
Always good to have
Jersey pride.
Jersey pride.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it, too.
Seriously, I don't think there really is any other state that really has as much pride as we do. And that's not just saying it because, you really feel
because
it.
I think especially because, like he said, because we're located right between New York and Philly, and I think we're always fighting for our own identity between those 2 huge cities. And it's like, no, we're New Jersey. We are the Garden State.
And we're the first to, keep it real, but also help in a situation where you need it. Absolutely.
I used to work with a girl who was born and raised in Virginia. And that was something that she said about people from New Jersey is she was like, she goes, I was raised to believe that people from New Jersey were rude. And what it really is you're honest. Like, if you don't have time to give me directions, somebody will flat out look at me and be like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah. But if you have a flat tire, all right, I'll help you out.
Exactly. Like somebody will start it's just, she's like, it's a weird but cool place and not at all what I was expecting.
But also when you think about, quickly just like natural disasters, right? In different areas of the country, right? We will send people to go down and help. And people will volunteer to go down and help.
Absolutely.
That's just who
it's
Jersey
just who we are.
Yeah. So it's amazing.
We're like, you're an idiot, but we got you.
Yeah, exactly. Your tire's flat, but I guess I'll call AAA.
But I guess we'll help out. Exactly. All right, guys, coming up next, what a new survey says are New Jersey's top travel destinations.
When you're not hanging out in New Jersey, right? Plus, we'll learn about a Tony Award-winning musical coming to the American Theater Group.
And as always, you can find us on social media. Search at NJ Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and click follow.
Right now, families all across New Jersey are struggling with hunger, and their financial futures remain uncertain. You can be the hope for our hungry neighbors in need in a time when that need is still so great. The Community Food Bank of New Jersey, the state's largest anti-hunger, anti-poverty organization, is filling the emptiness caused by hunger with food, help, and hope. Go to cfbnj.org now to join us.
The New Jersey Hall of Fame is coming to you, celebrating our best and brightest, greeting guests along our Garden State Parkway through its 9 service areas, engaging travelers from our terminals to our transit centers, inspiring new generations as we move from town to town, and at New Jersey's hottest red carpet ceremony, inspiring New Jerseyans at our new home at American Dream. It's the New Jersey Hall of Fame, and it's where you want to be because everyone needs a hero.
Welcome back to New Jersey Morning Show. It was another disappointing weather day for ski resorts here in New Jersey. Another storm bringing us rain and not snow. And
They're still in the attic.
Yeah, and that rain's going to continue throughout the day today. Newark will get to a high of 44 degrees today. Really actually warm considering this time of year, and expect a high of 39 in Sussex, 46 in Seabright, 44 in Camden, and 50 in Cape May. Now taking a glimpse into the future, the Climate Prediction Center's outlook for the 8 to 14-day period from now. I love saying that. Shows temperatures averaging near normal for us finally in New Jersey. The colder winter temperatures still going to be stuck, though, mainly in the western U.S. And you want to stay tuned because your complete 7-day forecast is coming up in the next weather segment. Will we finally get some snow?
We get there eventually, I think.
I feel like, and I'm just hoping it doesn't last until March and April.
Oh no, somewhere between like late March and early April, we're gonna get like 18 inches of snow. It's just gonna be like, just kidding, surprise.
Be like, what's up? I'm late to the party.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm here. Get the shovels.
Speaking of being late, let's bring in Don Smith because traffic with this rain. I mean, it does not take much these days, Don.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't take much to kind of spin out and slide up a little bit. And, you know, Cara and I were on the Staten Island morning show this week. And, you know, you were mentioning about that wet cement kind of snow. I mean, I hope you're wrong. But just looking at that little prediction there for the next 2 weeks to the early parts of February, it looks like we're okay. But it's that big blue in the western section that maybe around Valentine's Day, you know, this eventually, I think, going to come east. So I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist in any way, shape, or form. At times, maybe I've played one on TV, but let's get you over towards the cameras, maps, or whatever. Again, weather and traffic go together. I want to show you here the Parkway up at the Barnegat tolls. We're actually dry. So it just kind of really depends on your location. As we spin things up closer to the Driscoll Bridge this morning, you can see more of a moderate shower activity, rain here in the Woodbridge area. And then I want to take you all the way up here to where are we going to go? Let's go to 48 in Bloomfield. And you can see just an ugly, sloppy mess kind of a morning. Let's go to the incident pages here. We will dial that in. Route 30, they're still saying that everything is shut here in Clementon, just east of Gibbsboro Road, but I haven't seen anything as far as any major delays there, but just be aware they're working on a traffic light. 42, it's on the shoulder. It's not causing any problems. Same thing here on 295 as you get up towards Princeton Pike. Let's go back to the maps here. And again, there it is in Clementon on White Horse Pike, just east of Gibbsboro Road. Again, I'm not seeing it, so it's possible that they just have repaired it and still hasn't radioed back to headquarters at this point. But the rest of South Jersey is going to be in good shape. Again, as we make our way further to the north, it's still a little bit sluggish here along the turnpike going south of Interchange 10. But 287, you know, let me just bring that into the conversation very quickly because that should have eased out. There was a big accident there this morning. And it really took a toll on traffic coming out of Piscataway, but and it's actually still there. They're doing something here. Maybe it's some guardrail repair or some type of emergency construction, but that's southbound 287 as you come into Edison before Route 27. So as the maps indicate, we're still fairly congested back into Piscataway for the most part. Parkway again at the Driscoll Bridge, 2278 out to Flemington and Lebanon and Clinton is good. Same thing along 206 and 287. I'm going to save for our last report, North Jersey, in about 10 minutes. But here's the George Washington Bridge, about 45 minutes or so. I'm going to do some more investigation there, see if anything's happening on the Cross Bronx in the city. About 15 to 20 at the Lincoln, about 10 minutes there at the Holland Tunnel and New Jersey Transit. We still have one canceled train of the Montclair line and one canceled on the Northeast Corridor, but that is even coming down as we speak. That's what's happening here in the traffic center. And again, for our final report, we'll take a look at the rest of North Jersey here shortly. Cara, Kristina, back to you.
All right, Don, thanks so much. So a new survey from Insure My Trip found the most common international travel destinations for New Jerseyans.
Yeah, while most travelers are headed for other parts of the U.S., the top foreign country was the Bahamas. Right behind it was Israel, followed by Mexico and Italy. Sign me up for all. The survey also found the expected average trip cost is now $1,500 more than it was this time last year because everything's more expensive.
Because everything's more expensive,
yeah.
I think also, I feel like with travel, there's also a higher demand. So it's like on top of everything being more expensive, it's a more desirable thing to do because we've been so locked up these last few
100%.
years.
It is interesting, though, that the top destination is still within the U.S., though. Before you start going to the Bahamas and Italy and all of that stuff, people are saying, well, you know what, maybe we'll just stay in the U.S., but it's still more expensive because
I have looked into like trying to go to like Sedona, Arizona or something like that. It's expensive. It's cheaper to go to Mexico.
Right.
I'm like, make it make sense. But
yeah, it doesn't.
No.
None of it does. Well, this makes sense. The Undesirables is a new TV pilot that tells the story of a man who finds himself in purgatory. This is a really cool show. Its director and co-creator, New Jersey native Joe Pepitone, has turned the concept of purgatory into a very unique story arc.
But it's basically about Jason's character, Michael Teavers, trying to help this dysfunctional group save purgatory, but there's also a love interest. We kind of do that will they, won't they effect through the first season, and the goal is for Jason to kind of prove himself that he can save purgatory and be this mature guy, which he's not, and it'll lead up to kind of the end with a nice little twist at the end.
Very nice. So Pepitone is looking to develop the pilot into a full-fledged series.
Just one of the many productions happening here in New
There's
Jersey.
so much going on.
Jersey-centric, Jersey-based. Just love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so it's a good concept.
Yeah, it's a really
I think people have had success with that whole purgatory concept.
And one of the guys from Clerks, by the way, is in that show as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes full circle.
It all comes together. Also going on to entertain you in the Garden State, the American Theater Group is gearing up for its latest production. The group will be performing the Tony Award-winning musical Parade at the Szymanski Theater from March 2nd to the 5th.
Yeah, joining us now to discuss the production is the producing artistic director, Jim Bias. Thank you so much for being with us.
How are you guys?
Good.
So, Jim, what made Parade the production you wanted to do next?
We've been thinking about doing Parade for over a year now. It's just we had done Jason Robert Brown's other musical, Bridges of Madison County, and the audience has really ate it up. And Parade is a musical I've always loved. The score is wonderful. The story is rich and profound and very relevant today. It deals with discrimination and bigotry. It was based on a story that took place in the turn of last century, where a shopkeeper was accused of murdering someone in his factory. And the trial was more about his beliefs than the facts. And he was basically railroaded. And this is the story of his story.
Why do you think it's so important to tell this story now?
Oh, gosh, I could go on for hours. But when you have national leaders winking and nodding at bigotry and violence and anti-Semitism, we need to know that the story is still going on and the struggle still goes on, and people need to know that it could happen here again. So I don't want to make it a downer, because it is a wonderful, rich musical, but it is an important story that needs to be told.
Yeah.
I definitely kind of art imitating life, or vice versa.
Yeah. You mentioned the dates. We also are extending it. We're going to be performing at the Szymanski Theater the first weekend in March, and then we move to the West Orange JCC the second weekend.
Oh, nice.
So your viewers have a chance to see it both times. And talk about Jersey Pride. They're doing Parade in New York later on, and we're going to be doing it for a fraction of the cost. And we're a professional company. We have Tony nominated director Hunter Foster directing it for us, and one of our actresses is a Broadway star from Little Women and Les Mis. So it's going to be quite the production, not to be missed.
Amazing. That's amazing.
And Jim, you know what? I've long since said that New Jersey's theater has always put on a Broadway level production for a fraction of the cost, and you don't have to drive, or you can drive and there's parking. It's not nearly as crazy. What goes into putting a production like this together?
Oh, well, we're going to have a cast of 15. Putting on a production is a wonderful, wonderful experience. It is also pretty, it tends to give you ulcers, but we're right in the thick of auditions right now, and we're seeing some amazing talent. The people in this cast are going to just be drop dead phenomenal. The voices, the acting. And, then so you put together the cast, you get your director, you get your conductor. Our conductor is a colleague of Jason Robert Brown, who's the composer of the show, and Keith Levinson, who has worked with Jason on numerous projects, will be overseeing the musical aspects of the show. We have Hunter directing it. We have some top-notch designers designing the set, costume, lights, sounds, props. So it's a matter of putting all the pieces together, giving them the space to do their artistry, and then watching it develop. I wouldn't want to do anything else.
That's fantastic. It's like putting a puzzle together.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
What are you hoping audiences get out of the show?
Well, first, I want them to be entertained. I want them to be moved. I want them to be touched by the heart of this story. This story is such a passionate story. The music is so lush and rich and rewarding. So I want them to walk away entertained, But I want them to be thinking. I want them to be wondering what caused that 100 years ago and what do we have to do to prevent it from happening again.
Start a dialogue, essentially.
Yeah.
Create a conversation. Yeah.
Nothing would make me happier than to get a letter the next day from somebody saying, you know, I saw your production and I was up all night thinking about it, and this is what I thought about it. So what do you think? And I will love it. I'll love that. Or if folks go out afterwards for coffee, for a quick cup of coffee, and that quick cup of coffee ends up being a 2-hour discussion.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, Jim, where can folks go if they'd like to come see the production in either theater?
Well, first of all, they should go to our website, www.americantheatergroup.org. And they can see it either at the Ziemiński Theater in Basking Ridge, the first weekend in March, or the West Orange JCC in West Orange, the second weekend in March.
Fantastic.
We run from, I think, March 2nd to March 11th. So
Very
only
nice.
2 weeks. So they only have 2 weekends to see it.
Awesome. Jim, congratulations. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much for being on today and for all the success too. We're looking forward to the show.
My pleasure. Please join us. Come see the show, guys.
Thanks again.
Thanks so much. Oh, wait, we do such good stuff here, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can get a Broadway quality show at any of our local or state theaters. I mean,
100%.
they do a beautiful job.
It's amazing. It truly is. I mean, the talent is just, it's like no other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Up next, we're going to get you one final look at traffic and weather.
Yes. You can always find us over on social media. Search for @NJ Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and click follow.
Right now, families all across New Jersey are struggling with hunger, and their financial futures remain uncertain. You can be the hope for our hungry neighbors in need in a time when that need is still so great. The Community Food Bank of New Jersey, the state's largest anti-hunger, anti-poverty organization, is filling the emptiness caused by hunger with food, help, and hope. Go to cfbnj.org now to join us.
The New Jersey Hall of Fame is coming to you, celebrating our best and brightest, greeting guests along our Garden State Parkway through its 9 service areas, engaging travelers from our terminals to our transit centers, inspiring new generations as we move from town to town, and at New Jersey's hottest red carpet ceremony, inspiring New Jerseyans at our new home at American Dream. It's the New Jersey Hall of Fame, and it's where you want to be because everyone needs a hero.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Hey, if you chose to stay home today, you made a great choice because it's going to be ugly out there and dreary across the Garden State as rain showers continue to roll in. Save your energy for Saturday, as that looks to be the best day of the weekend. However, there's a caveat, another storm to watch for Sunday night into Monday morning. So Monday morning's commute might be a little dicey. As we take a look at the 7-day forecast, you'll see that the storm system that we just mentioned, it looks to be another mainly rain event for us, but northwestern areas could start off with some wintry weather. However, that won't exactly produce snow day material for the kiddos on Monday. Sorry, but at the end of the outlook, there is another potential storm system that does need a close watch. It is too early for the details, but that could also bring some wintry weather into our area. Finally, that'll be highly dependent on the track, of course, inland versus off the coast, which of course our meteorologists will be tracking closely over the next several days. We are getting towards the end of January here with very little, snow precipitation, I should
It's
say.
not even the no snow view thing, because Mountain Creek has more than enough machines to produce it. It hasn't been cold enough
to produce
the
snow.
snow and have it stick. I mean, it's insane.
For snow lovers, it's been hard, but for the folks that rely on the snow, like the snowplow drivers and those folks that really rely on, January, February, March as like some income, they're really feeling it now because nothing. I mean, at January 3rd last year, we had that big
storm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think even just, kind of nature in general, like, the insects are not quite dying off, like the birds are not, nothing's hibernating. Everything's out and about still.
I'm seeing some buds from the flowers.
The trees
are
weird.
It's like January. Wait.
It's like, wait, you're not ready yet. Hang on.
So it's been really wild. So hopefully, we do get a little bit of something, and then back to normal
Yeah,
weather
we need
because
it.
it's
We do
bizarre.
need it. It's important.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's bring in Don Smith for one last look at your commute this morning. And the rain also has a negative impact on the roads.
Yeah.
This is true. That's right. Yeah, Cara, good morning to you. Good morning, Kristina. So be careful out there. Roadways are becoming fairly slippery. Let's get you over to the maps now. Now, again, we have no idea whether the wet roads are a contributing factor to our problems here, but 33 now, just getting word just west of Colts Neck Road, as you see it here, and west of Route 34. Everything is shut in both directions now. So be really careful here along 33, especially coming out of 34 and then west of the Garden State Parkway. So just keep that in mind. Again, 33, DOT is telling me that it is shut down, and that's all they're saying. So again, that's all we got. And again, that just happened about 4 minutes ago or so was the last update. Since we're on the page here, we have Route 30. All lanes are open. Just watch for potential delays there in Clementon. And then 295 here, the shoulder is still out. And then 42 south of Black Horse Pike, shoulder is also out of service. So we go back to the maps. Let's widen things up. And really, kind of the majority for right now is the rain has been in this central part of the state along 287 as well as the Turnpike. The Parkway across the Driscoll Bridge has been fairly soggy. 287 still a little bit slow here, friends. Some kind of emergency construction going south just before Route 27. There was a big crash early this morning, about 6:30, 7 o'clock. They're still doing some sort of repair there to the right guardrail, possibly. It's tough to see from the camera, but just be careful coming out of Piscataway as you head south along 287. As we make our way out towards the Turnpike. As we head up to North Jersey now, Turnpike is good. Parkway is quiet. 287 is clear. Parkway, little congestion here in Bloomfield, but that's going to be about it. North Jersey 23, 17, and 208 is moving along well. Now, as we look at the George Washington Bridge, we're still upwards of 40 minutes or so for the upper level. I think there was a crash there, and now it's coming down to about 30 or so. We'll average it out about 30 for both the upper and lower, 15 at the Lincoln, 15 at the Holland. I think there was a crash just before the toll plaza that was kind of messing the ride up just a little bit for us. So again, just keep that in mind. Let's go to New Jersey Transit. It's really just been 2 canceled trains. Other than that, things are on or close to schedule. And Path here this morning coming up at 10. Again, Newark to World Trade. Again, that's going to be Newark to World Trade. Watch for delays with the mandatory Hackensack River testing lifts there. From 10 to 11, again, about 6 minutes from now, and then from 1 to 2 as well for the afternoon. So again, just something to keep in the back of your mind if you're using Path. That's what's happening here. And again, a fairly active traffic center. When is it not, right? Because this is New Jersey, and maybe that should be part of the podcast that we were just talking to the gentleman just a few minutes ago about when is traffic never an issue in Jersey? It just never is.
Never.
3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And even at that, you probably find something.
Even
right?
then, there's some construction somewhere.
Exactly.
100%.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Okay,
All right,
ladies, we'll
John.
see you tomorrow then.
Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow. And you know what? Thank you for watching. We will see you tomorrow as well. I'm Cara Falco.
And I'm Kristina Behr. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.